You're simply the best. Better than all the rest. Better than anyone. Anyone I ever met.
Boom, what's up, Vegas? Welcome back to OTMS, the first dad-daughter podcast of Vegas, coming at you live from Sin City. I'm Mr. 702, a.k.a. CPAAF, a.k.a. Dupre, government name. Here with my partner in crime, Taylor, affectionately known as
Dupre Jr.
a.k.a. Switzerland. Please rate, review, subscribe. We need your help. Stop being stingy with that stuff. We know you guys listen to other podcasts. Listen to ours and help us out. Anyways, let's do what we always do. Jump into it, kickstart the show with Taylor's Takes.
Woo. Okay, my take for today is that being cool and liked by everyone is overrated, because that means that you're not being who you actually are, because if everyone likes you, you're conforming to somebody's idea and being a chameleon so that you fit in everywhere.
What if you're naturally cool like me?
Not everyone is going to like you if you're being authentically yourself.
I'm cool with that. Back to cool. I'm cool with that.
Period.
No, I agree with that. And so let's just dovetail. So we listened to Tina Turner's, or the song that led us into our podcast was Tina Turner's You're the Best, just simply the best. And so I am big on brand, okay? And so to me, and that's what today's podcast is kind of about. It's like a hodgepodge podcast, but the impetus for today is brand and being yourself. So that kind of like leads in, your hot take leads into or dovetails in nicely to what it is that we're talking about today, if I can get that out right. So being your own brand can be one of your talents, not to be confused with a skill. Okay, so what does that mean? I am great at being my own brand, at being what I think is cool. Now, whether other people not think I'm cool, that's a different deal, but I don't try to be cool for other people's applause. I just am the best version of me. And so I'm a CPA by trade. So if I'm dealing with other CPAs, we all have access to the same knowledge base. We all have the same certifications. So then it comes down to, how do I differentiate myself, right? How in a market full of CPAs do I distinguish my product from somebody else's product, even though we're delivering the same type of service? And it's about brand. It's about being the best version of yourself. So there's the first principles of being you, which gets into your thing of don't be a try-hard, as the kids would say today, is you don't acquiesce to the masses because it's like a cheap form of signaling, because you want their appreciation or their applause. You don't do it because it's the popular thing to do. So when I look at style, I look at branding. Branding is not like fashion or name brand recognition. That's just fashion, and fashion fades where if you're stylish or you have your own style, then you have your own brand, and that's pretty much eternal, okay? And so you don't do it because it's popular. Style is eternal, popular is like a fashion, popular is like a fad. And then finally, you don't do it because it's easy. Easy is, I can conform, to steal my daughter's word, to what everybody thinks I should be. And this goes back to my self-reliance poem that I read last week, Ralph Waldo Emerson. What's up, dog? He's dead, by the way. So you don't do it because it's easy. You do it because you're not scared to walk alone. You're not petrified to walk alone. You're not going to, cower in the shadows because you're afraid to be the best version of yourself. If you truly want to stand out, if you truly want to be successful in this world, then you have to be your own brand. You have to have your own style. You have to think different to get different. And that gets us to our equation we got up here on the board. R plus D equals E. Rarity, being yourself, plus difficulty, not taking the easy path, will ultimately lead to excellent.
Yeah, I agree. I think even besides being successful, if you want to be happy, you have to be happy for yourself and not for other people. And we've talked about this before, but we're
going to say it again and again and again and again and again and again because you guys ain't listening. Anyways, I'm sorry.
But trying to like fit in everywhere is exhausting, and you're going to lose like touch of who you really are and just have like an identity crisis, like imposter syndrome, and you're just not going to know where you fit in. And like the longer you do that, the more unhappy you're going to be, and the harder it is going to be for you to figure out who you are and who you truly want to be, and like what drives you and what makes you happy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to confuse like success with monetary value. Monetary value is just a measuring stick based on what your goals and aspirations and your purposes are. You can be 100% successful and be the happiest person on earth and just have like a modest living, so don't confuse the two, because you can get into that trap where it's like, I got a nice house, I got a nice car, I wear nice clothes, and then you keep upping the ante because you see somebody else that has a better car than you, that has a better house than you, that wears better clothes than you. Then you're not truly happy. You're just trying to level up on somebody else. And then that just gets into a dog chasing its tail thing, and it's never going to end. That vicious cycle will continue to spin until, I don't know, you finally realize that it's kind of not worth it anymore to do that pursuit. And here's the thing that I kind of live by, and especially in Vegas, is because it's like, Vegas is such a juice city.
Las Vegas, baby, yeah!
In terms of like, it's really predicated on who you know. And so one thing that I've kind of like adopted as a philosophy is it's not about having the best product. It's not about being the best person per se. It's about being the best known. If people know who you are because you're putting yourself out there as an authentic, original version of yourself, then you will become more well-known. And it's kind of funny, right? The opposites happen based on the energy that you put out. So, before we started the podcast, my daughter was telling me, you got to pet the dog, Dad. The reason why she wants your attention is because you just don't give her enough attention. And so those two opposites exist. And I said, exactly. And so scarcity, which in this sense was not giving the dog too much attention, makes the dog want to, have me pet her more, right? Wants more, seeks more attention from me. And so you got to know when to pull back. You got to know when, like Kenny Rogers' song, know when to hold them, know when to fold them. Because if you put yourself out there too much, like my daughter was saying, then you just become oversaturated in that market, and then you lose your authentic appeal.
Yeah, I think like this is where we kind of differ, because I'm like, I don't want to be known. I'm like, the amount of people I know are like, I feel like for me, like success is like, I'm happy. And like, that's all that matters for me, is like, I just want to be happy, versus like Dad has built like kind of his own little like empire, and like that's what makes him happy. So I think like take what you think happiness is, and that'll kind of like guide you too.
But the opposite of what I'm saying is like, I attract attention by the way I carry myself, but I don't go out there and like consciously like engage with people to get attention. What I do in my style attracts attention because that's just the type of person that I am. But what you're saying is like kind of validating what I was talking about with Nora Girl, is that because you don't seek attention from people, I would say like in your workplace, right? People probably seek you out. It's that opposite effect. So not giving somebody something all the time, right, makes them want to know, why are you not doing it? And they will actually seek you out. You will make yourself more popular by not seeking to be popular.
I can't help it that I'm popular.
That's just the way it works, because now you're scarce. And when you're scarce, you're in demand.
Yeah, I think like my mindset is more, obviously like in the Bible, it says like, don't seek the praise of like man. So I don't go out there like, okay, well, I need to go out there because I want this person to be like, wow, Taylor, you're so great. Wow, Taylor, like, I love how you dress, blah, blah, blah. Like, none of that stuff matters. And I think, like, the way the world tells us to live is, like, you need to, like, praise everybody, or, like, you need everybody to praise you. And so everyone, like, I get, like, oh, why are you so joyful? Why are you so happy? Girl, because I live for the Lord. So, like, when you do things like that, like, people notice. And I guess that's where it comes in, like, when you don't give somebody something, then they seek it out. Like when I give somebody a compliment, it might not be because they're seeking praise, But like God was like, okay, well, you need to reaffirm this in them kind of vibe.
But onto yourself, that's your own style.
Yeah.
So what I don't want to do is people walk away from this podcast thinking that style has to be wearing a Hermes belt or some Prada glasses or a custom coat. That's not style per se. It's part of my brand. It's part of how I present myself. But your style can be in your belief system, in how you carry yourself, and then how you ordain your, not ordain, but how you ornate yourself in your gear that you wear. We all have our certain stuff that we like to wear, whether we like it or not, because no one's going to just go run around naked. So you're going to put some clothes on, but you're going to put clothes on that are going to fit your personality, that you feel comfortable in, that you don't really care what everybody else kind of thinks. And so you present that version to the world. And so when you're like, hey, I'm just happy being me, I'm happy in my life that I live, in following the Lord's rule and reading the Bible and all that stuff that you do, that's your style, though. That's who you are, and that's what makes you unique, and that's what makes you compelling to other people, and they want to talk to you and seek you out, even though that's not what you're trying to do.
Period. No, I agree. I think, like, your style is who you are, like, when nobody else is around. It's who you are. If you take away like all the materialistic things, like who are you? When you look in the mirror, like who are you? We all like seek validation from what everybody else is telling us. But like when you look in the mirror, like what are you telling yourself?
Who are you? Who it was you. Oh, that's the song by The Who, by the way. Just, sorry about that. Musical interlude from your dad.
Period.
You're right. So, and then another thing that Styles does is style is not a brand. We've established that. Style is not fashion. I'm sorry. Style is a brand. Style is not fashion. Style is you, and style is leverage. So in the financial world, we talk about leverage. Like leverage is I get some money in the form of a loan and I get an asset, right? And the income that spits off of the asset is greater than the cost of me getting the loan. That's leverage.
Did you notice how the right leverage can be very effective?
So you make more than the cost of the money that you borrowed. How does that apply to just actual interpersonal skills? Style is leverage. So when you walk into a room, a meeting, a party, work, personal, whatever, when you truly have your own style, people notice that. And when they notice that, then they want to give you attention. With that, before you even say anything, before you commit an act, you've already gotten leverage in that particular situation. Now, you may not be trying to exploit it. You may not be looking for that. But we deal in a world of human interaction. We deal in a world of human negotiations. We deal in a world of humans interplaying all the time, whether it's relationships at the house, relationships with our friends, or relationships at work. And to have a relationship skewed in your favor, your style is going to give you leverage. So basically, that leverage that you created because of your style you should be able to create more value off of that leverage than the leverage that you get from just having your own style. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, when you walk into a room, and because everybody says, hey, when Taylor walks into a room, the mood of the room is like, it's uplifting. Like there's more light when you enter a room. That's leverage, and that's people giving you appreciation, even though you're not seeking it. But then that sets you up in a better position to deal with those people, depending on the type of relationship that you're trying to produce or work.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Dad and I always just look at the world like very differently. So it's like cool to compare viewpoints, I guess, because I obviously don't look at things from like a business standpoint or like a worldly standpoint anymore, and that's okay. I guess this is where it comes in.
She's more eschatological, where she has like this heavenly view of the world, and she looks down, not on us, but just kind of sees it for what it is.
See the world as the Lord would see it.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. So be your own style.
Yep.
Don't acquiesce to the crowd or the masses to conform.
Yep.
Don't get caught up in fashion or things that are just fleeting in the moment if you really want to be the best version of yourself.
Yeah. We
And
have
then
different viewpoints. That's cool.
That's
We're
100%.
authentically ourselves.
We are authentically ourselves, and as you can tell, we're night and day different in certain aspects. But the thing that we are common in, even though we have a lot of differences between us,
our love for Star Wars.
love for Star Wars is one, but having our own style.
Yeah.
Right? We both authentically have our own style.
Not caring what other people think.
Not giving two rips what other people think. So, Booty Shaker of the Week. This is a new feature. And this is something that, I thought about during the week. This kind of hit home for me. So, people who hate America that live in America. So, I want somebody to show me an instance in any other country since the existence of this nation where more people actually immigrate to try to come into this country, right? And show me an instance where Americans are fleeing to get out of this country to go to another country because they think there's a better opportunity. There's a reason why we're trying to close the border.
Yeah.
Okay. So there are people that are risking life, limb, loved ones to get into this country, and they're coming over from across the globe.
Everywhere.
So I'm going to wait for an instance for someone to show me where there's more Americans leaving this country than there's people coming in to this country. So I want you to think about the journey of people coming in. Just say, forget like just Latin Americans in general that are trying to cross from any country. They're coming over from China. They're coming over from Africa. And what they do is they fly into like Ecuador. And so when they land in Ecuador, they then have to travel through 7 countries, 9 border crossings just to try to get into America. Mm-hmm. And then when they camp, they just basically just lay out in the open. They call that like camping, right? Mm-hmm. And then once they arrive in America, it's not like they have anything that's like waiting for them here.
No, but now they get a free handout.
They get a job. They're jobless. They're homeless. But they feel like coming to America, even jobless and homeless, is better than the conditions in which they fled. Yeah. But we got people here that are complaining about
burning flags,
complaining about America, which, by the way, America allows you to do that.
Yeah, without consequence.
Without any consequence. Go do that in some other country. I always point to, like, has anybody seen Jack Ma in China? He was one of the wealthiest people in the world, and then he just disappeared off the grid because he wasn't basically acquiescing in every way, shape, and form to what, like, say, Xi Jinping wanted him to be, and no one's seen that guy in over a year. So just let that simmer in for a bit. You think about these people like just risking life and limb to get over here. And so to all you who live here, live off of here, and then complain about here, which is another featured benefit you get to exercise without reprisal, you then therefore are a booty shaker. I'm not anti-American. I'm anti-Americans.
Yeah, I think like if you've been watching the show, we're pretty patriotic. USA,
USA, USA, USA. We like to thank our unofficial sponsors, Starbucks, AG1, and soft and chewy milk bone jog treats for our girl, Nora. So I am Mr. 702 CPAF signing off.
Dupre Jr.
Peace.